feel that there's a time where you in your career have been disadvantaged because of your gender? Is there a personal experience where you felt that, Missy?
You know, I've been incredibly fortunate in my career, and I've always been surrounded by some of the strong women that you see sitting here, and the strong men that I have in my life who've said, you know, if this is what you want, you need to fight for it. And I think that's why this talk is so important, because we need every young woman to hear that. And with the support that we're starting to get, and with, you know, people really becoming strong and vocal about this movement and about equality, I think it's going to be easier and easier to break those doors down to the point where hopefully eventually there are none to begin with.
I think that athletics has sort of led in terms of sport with equality for women and men. Some of the sponsors that are involved with the sport of athletics really put women forward. Allyson Felix is a fantastic example for women and for young girls. She is the most decorated track and field athlete of all time, male or female. And that is something that the sport has promoted. So I think that from that perspective, I think that athletics has done a pretty good job. But it's going to take men being involved as well in this movement. So let's start there. You know, yep. The coaches who are coaching girls teams, those guys are, you know, they're passionate about helping young girls regardless of, I mean, these are just athletes for them. And they happen to be girls. That's fantastic. Let's tap into that.
But is it difficult, though, for men to lead the conversation on gender equality and on women's rights?
I think that is the power of sport, when there is this equality, because it's natural. This is an athlete. I'm coaching my athlete. That's the way they see it. But I think that, you know, men do see that, you know, and we have a responsibility. The problem is that many men probably don't know where to begin, and we need a partner that's a female to help us to make sure that we're navigating this correctly.
Is that something that you've personally felt, that the men tend to grab the headlines, or has that not been your experience?
Having to go to reporters and having them ask me about, you know, what in my personal life is affecting my performance, if I have an eating disorder, like things like that. I'm sitting there like, if, you know, a prominent male swimmer came through here and didn't have a good race, like, you wouldn't be asking him if he had an eating disorder. Like, so I think it's more about making sure that when we have, you know, the opportunity to be in front of media and spread what we want to spread, that we're being asked the questions that are appropriate and that give us an opportunity to voice who we are and our values and what we believe in.
It's young kids really that we need to inspire. We need to motivate young girls, and we need girls to just really feel like sport is as much for them as it is for boys. One of the things that we focus on a lot at Women in Sport is less about sport and more about women and girls. So what is it that's important to women and girls? What do they enjoy? What's important in their life? So it's not about changing sport itself. It's about making sure that we're tapping into those things that sport can offer that is really going to be motivating and attracting for girls.
I think one of the important things for us with Laureus and the work we do is understanding the culture, understanding the social norms where we are, and what that might bring out in terms of how girls are affected in that community. Mm-hmm. An example is just a project that we support in South Africa where they use surfing to get young people engaged, and they didn't have enough girls involved in their program, and they came to Laureus, came to us, and we helped them to understand that it's not about having more female coaches. The challenge there is that girls don't feel safe getting to the venue. Mm-hmm. So that was the challenge that we were able to help them as an organization, to help them to work through that. We have the same situation, and I've supported a project that we have in Morocco. The issue there was that the elders in the village didn't support young girls playing sport. This is the power of sport. Getting those girls out and getting the elders out, and seeing Edwin Moses and Emerson Fittipaldi and myself and Noel out, playing football with these young girls, got them to start to open their minds and open their perspective and change their perspective, and then start to support young girls and their daughters and the girls of the community in playing football.
I actually believe that quite a lot of the gender inequality that we see throughout society, to some extent, starts with the difference that kids experience in terms of sport, because girls are not building that self-confidence, that resilience, that awareness to the same extent as boys are if they're not having the same exposure to playing sport.